Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to review a new Netflix original limited series, Adolescence.
Adolescence,
yeah,
yes.
we watched this one over the weekend, and you know what? I feel like we got enough out of it that, it was worth doing a review today. To talk about it with you guys. But before we get into it, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about, TV. We talk about movies. We talk about all things entertainment here on this channel.
Yeah.
If you like that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. Also,
like this video.
Like the video like she said. And then leave us a comment down below. Have you seen Adolescence? Let us know your thoughts. All right. So where do you want to start with this one?
Yeah, so this one started...
You picked it out.
Yeah, this one started to kind of blow up, if you will, as things on social media do. I
heard that the Electric State I think the Electric State came out the same weekend that it did.
Oh, did it?
And Adolescence got like little to no promotion, and they both got like the same amount of views or something because of just the word of mouth of Adolescence.
Gotcha. So. Yeah, I just remember I kept hearing stuff about it, and I was like, I'm into the whole kind of I don't know if you would call this like a true crime. I mean, it kind of is.
It starts that way. That's probably the most interesting thing about it is that it starts off with you thinking that it's going to be one thing, and then it kind of pivots into something else.
Yeah. And
the thing that it pivots into, you're not really ready for until it like hits you right in the face,
Yeah. So I don't know. I just, it just looked like something that I would be interested in. So I had, brought it up to you. And, something else that really drew me to this limited series was that I had heard each episode was done in like one shot takes, right?
And when you told me that, one shot, I'm a sucker for that stuff, like the one shot gimmick. I love 1917. That's like one of my favorite movies of the past 10 years.
Yeah.
That was definitely a cool aspect about the show.
Yeah. So, this was 4 episodes. I want to say that they were each about an hour or so long.
Yeah. And they all take place at different time periods.
Yeah.
I think the first 2 episodes are probably within days of each other.
Right.
But then they jump like a few months, and then they jump another few months.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it basically just, just to kind of give you a little plot here, it is about I think, 13-year-old boy, and there's a allegation, I guess.
There's a murder.
Well, yeah, there's a murder, and they believe that this boy killed this girl. And you kind of go through, it's pretty much answered pretty quickly, as to if he did it or not. And then it kind of just takes you, a lot of it is focused on how his family deals with it, how his friends deal with it.
Yeah.
And so, it definitely kind of going back to what you were saying about thinking that it was one thing and then it kind of turning into another thing. I was kind of expecting, I had heard a lot of people talking about how emotional this show was. And so I was kind of anticipating that to kind of come up. Again, I'm a pretty emotional person. And so, we have a 14-year-old son. And so I knew right away that I was probably going to.
It hits close to home for sure.
Yeah.
Because the lead, I don't know if we mentioned it, but the boy is 13.
Right,
When the show starts, when the show ends, he's 14.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, so it was just, I liked how it wasn't just completely focused on the actual murder event. A lot of it is about how this family deals with it. And so I did, enjoy seeing that part of it, instead of just like the typical, going to trial, and we've gotten a lot of those. We have defending Jacob, we have
which when you first told me the premise, I was like, oh, that's defending Jacob, because I was kind of worried it was just going to be the same kind of thing.
Which defending Jacob, if you don't know, that was on HBO Max.
Definitely similar themes.
Wait, was it HBO or
Apple? It was Apple. It was Apple.
Apple. Yeah. My bad.
Similar themes for sure, but like the way it approaches the material and then how it dives into like the aftermath is completely different.
Right. Yeah, so we've definitely like had similar shows or series, as we've had those type of shows before. But again, this one was definitely just, it had its own little spin. I don't know if we mentioned this, but it is a British show.
Yep, it's a UK show. It's actually written and starring Stephen Graham, who plays the dad, but he also co-wrote the show as well, which Stephen Graham's been acting for a very long time. He's been, he's just one of those people that when you see him, it's like you recognize him.
Yeah.
Like he's been in some Guy Ritchie stuff like Snatch, but he's also like been in some US stuff. I think he was in like a Venom movie or something recently, but like he's just one of those guys that you just see pop up in certain movies. But
yeah, I mean, the dad, he was fantastic. The boy, he was fantastic. There's definitely, I feel like, was it maybe episode 3 where we really got to see the son?
Yeah, episode 3 was like, the Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers episode.
Yeah,
it was just like the therapist and the accused serial killer, or not serial killer but killer.
Yeah, without spoiling anything, episode 3 for me was, I mean, it's kind of the episode where you kind of get the realization of who this kid is. And you're not, I don't know, like for me, I wasn't quite ready for it. It's kind of one of those like,
well, up until that point, and again, we're not trying to spoil the show, but it's almost impossible to talk about it. Like, if you guys want to watch it and come back and watch this review, you might want to do that. But they paint him one way, like the first couple of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time you get to the third episode, like, yeah, you see like an entirely different side of him. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, wait a second.
Well, kind of going off of that without like spoiling too much, again, because I don't want to spoil anything because I do feel like it's important not to. But I was talking about it with our son today, actually. And I know you had kind of mentioned it to him before the other day as well. But, this kind of goes into, it talks about how, when things like this happen, when someone does something horrible like this, like murder someone or, just these horrible things, you're always kind of looking for a why. You're looking for a reason. Why did they do it? Like, was it their upbringing? Did they have a bad dad who beat him? Did they, was their parents alcoholics? Did you give them too much computer time? These are kind of things I feel like, again, too, you might resonate more with this show if you do have children. But I think you can probably still resonate with it. Hopefully, even just being a kid, maybe, I don't know, or being in a family, maybe. But it just kind of talks about how sometimes people just do bad things, and there's not always a reason. There's not always something that you could have done to prevent it. And so for me, that was really hard for me to,
or even if there was something or a way to prevent it, like you wouldn't
know
have even knew what it was.
Yeah.
And you might not still know what it is.
Right. You can't ever really be sure. And so it definitely goes into that whole like psychological, I just really, again, as being a parent, you're just like, man, what would you do if your kid did this? And, obviously as a parent, you're going to blame yourself for anything bad that they do. And so for me, this show just really, by the time we get to the finale of this show, I mean, the ending of this,
Did you think the final episode was the best episode?
I don't know.
For me, it's a cross between the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Just because, like, the beginning of the first episode, like, they just get right into it. It's just so visceral, and it's just, like, you're there, and it's so, like, if you were in that situation, it would be completely, like, traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I like how because that's the more, like, procedural episode where they're actually talking about the crime itself and getting into that stuff. And
yeah, I mean, episode 1 was really good. It was a good,
But then, like, the fourth episode is completely different from that. Like, it's talking about things, it's approaching things from, like, a completely different side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. For me, like episode 3 was really good.
Yeah, episode 3 was great too.
Him with his therapist, I don't know, it was just it was pretty intense as well.
Yeah, and I heard, and I don't know if this is true, that they like actually shot these in one take. Mm-hmm. Like, so it was almost like they were in a play. Like, that was all done in one take. Like, the performances and everything.
Really?
Which makes it, like, even more impressive.
Wow.
And the boy, which I'm blanking on his name, but
yeah,
I got it on my Owen Cooper. Mm-hmm. This is, like, the first thing he ever did.
Yeah.
Like, acting-wise.
Yeah.
So, that was really kind of like a master class just between two people just kind of going back and forth.
Right.
So
yeah, just very, very intense show for sure. And again, I feel like, you know, if you're a parent, I feel like you might just, it might kind of get to your core a little bit more.
Oh, it's impossible for it not to.
Yeah. So, and again, you know, by the end of it, I mean, I was holding, I don't know why I didn't cry. Like, I was like trying not to cry for some reason.
Yeah.
I would have been bawling, but for whatever reason I was like holding it back watching it with you. But like the dad, I mean, he just gave like an incredible performance there at the end or whatever.
And the mom too, and the sister. Like, I thought they were all fantastic.
I mean, there's just like this conversation of the mom and dad in the last episode where they're like sitting on the bed kind of just like walking through their son's whole life and just like, again, trying to
pinpoint like where they went wrong.
Right. Trying to find a reason for things and just like, you know, we you know, it was just really hard to watch. And so,
and I liked how they didn't just approach like the aftermath just from their perspective. Well, I mean, it is from their perspective, but they're not just commentating on like how do they deal with it, but also like how the town's dealing with it, like the community.
Town. He also has a sister, and so you kind of see like her.
And it goes into like, you know, even like it's almost impossible to move on from something like that,
right?
Because even if you want to move on, it gets weird with like everybody else like moving on with you, because it's like if you're not in that situation, if you're just seeing it from the outside, then it's like you're never gonna like move on. You're always gonna see this family as they raised this murderer that killed this girl in this town. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. About it. Yeah. The judgment and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That people will pass without even really knowing anything about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know, again, kind of going back into the one take shots, because they chose to do that, there are some, you know, parts where it kind of feels, you know, long or dragged out a little bit. Yeah. Just because, you know, if there's a moment where they're getting in the car, like you're gonna watch them drive literally all the way to where they're going. There is no cuts, you know, to, we're at the restaurant now.
But there's conversation, there's dialogue. It's not.
There's conversation, but again, you're just seeing like little clippets of their day, and so yeah, it's letting you know the characters better, I guess. But like, you know, some of it could just seem a little drawn out. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was really great. But, you know, definitely a heartbreaking watch. One that kind of like sticks with you. Feels heavy. And yeah, I don't know. But I thought it was very well done. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think just from like performances, direction, cinematography, you know, writing as well, just the dialogue and everything. It really is probably one of the best things I've seen in quite some time. Yeah. Definitely this year and probably last year as well. And I would expect this to get probably a lot of awards recognition by the time we get to like the Emmys and Golden Globes and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting some recognition.
I see this as like this year's Baby Reindeer, kind of.
Yeah, see,
but I would say this is better than Baby Reindeer. So.
Yeah, it's funny because when things like this come out, you know, I feel like you're kind of reminded that Netflix can put out good things.
Oh, yeah, but it's just they want to bury it, and then people just have to discover it, and it catches fire like that.
But yeah, definitely recommend checking it out for sure.
Yeah, it is a tough watch, so just be warned there. But yeah, I recommend it as well. But thank you all for watching our review of Adolescence. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave us a comment down below. Whatever you want to comment about the show if you've seen it, and we'll see you next time.